Hi, my name is Zephaniah Prince, and today I'm going to be talking about the NIT Plan Proposal. And what the NIT Plan Proposal is the new implementation of technology plan, and it's a plan to help aerospace engineering industries to adapt to a technology faster and more efficiently. So the aerospace industry is the assemblage of manufacturing concerns that deal with vehicular flight within and beyond the Earth's atmosphere. And so mainly it's the study of what can we do to improve aircrafts or aerospace crafts and how to make the technology that is in them better, more efficient, and they help us like research the atmosphere. So the problem that we're going over, the aerospace industry is very competitive. It's very fast-paced industry. There's really no time to slack or to mess up. And the adaptation to a technology is a very lengthy process, meaning that to implement a new technology, it's going to take a while. It's not as easy as it may seem. The implementation of new technologies is slower than it needs to be. So that being said, that's the main problem. It's slower than it needs to be, and it needs to like speed up. Aerospace companies need to stay current in order to compete in the global market. To achieve that, they must develop products faster, cheaper, and better. And this is from Dan Lewis. Dan Lewis is he studies aerospace engineering as part of the major companies. And so he's making this generalized statement as he sees that it is a problem on the implementation of technology. And also it's a goal for aerospace companies to make things like products faster, cheaper, and better, as he says. And there's also a need for a more efficient way to introduce new technology. And with this, the aerospace company can benefit more and they can stay on track, keep up with the consistent, fast pace. So there are some solutions that were already tried. One specific example is from CNC Industries, which is an aerospace company. And these are the words from Derek Korn, which states, will paraphrase, have spurred CNC Industries to make fundamental changes to minimize production costs, as well as think about the types of additional changes it should embrace to be more competitive down the road. And what he is saying is that the CNC Industries company saw that there were problems in production costs and production speed, and therefore they made fundamental changes, as in the back to the basics. They changed certain regulations, rules, and the way that they did things to help their company like produce faster. And so CNC Industries would make changes in their equipment too to make better production, and the changes were also personal. Another solution that was already tried, and this is another example from BAE Systems, which is another company in the UK. And these are the words from Neil Cayley, which states, however, those that have invested so far are already seeing the benefits with a research project for BAE Systems, enabling robots to accurately machine holes in composite aircraft components, already maturing into production and on track to save BAE millions of pounds in the coming years. And so BAE Systems found a way to take control of the problem, and this way was investing in research projects which open opportunities for new technology, which will help increase their production speed and help them stay relevant in the aerospace industry. And so my proposition is the NIT plan, which would be a 4-step plan that is universal and is easy to implement into any and every company. And what the 4 steps would include are an introductory meeting, 2-week training class, weekly assessments, and the implementation, of course. And it is designed to be highly efficient and more time favorable because, as mentioned before, the aerospace industry is a very fast-paced industry. So step 1, the introductory meeting. And in this step, companies will discuss the new technologies with the employees, and what they'll go over are the pros and cons pretty much of what the new technology is. They'll brainstorm, ask the employees to brainstorm about how they can adjust to the flaws or the cons of the technology to help fit in the technology with their specific company. And then they will also plan for the training in the upcoming weeks. The second step, the employees will undergo hands-on training, which is part of the 2-week training class, so they will become more familiar with the technology, and the instructions will be provided on the proper use of the technology. And also in this step, the do's and don'ts of the technology will be covered as well. Step 3, the weekly assessments. The weekly assessments are meant to test the knowledge of the employees and to make sure that they did not forget the proper methods of use for the technology so that the technology will function properly and not mess up. And the last step, of course, will be the implementation, and where the technology will be implemented and there will be test runs for it to make sure everything is working according to plan, and also the monitoring of the production and performance of the technology. So why choose the NIT plan is because it's efficient, it's very efficient, and it doesn't take a lot of time for the new technology to be implemented. It's also universal, which means that more companies can use it. It's not set for just one company. It's thorough, meaning that the employees is loaded with information, so the employees will retain it and it will be set in them. It's well developed and it's favorable, which is good for the aerospace engineering companies as they're trying to find better ways to accommodate to the fast-paced industry. And so the feasibility of the NIT plan, as mentioned before, is universal, it's very efficient, it's time conscious, full comprehension of the technology from the employees. It's also a basis guideline, so you can add on or take away from it as well. It's very flexible, and it also allows for trial and error to see what helps fit specific aerospace engineering company. So with that being said, don't hesitate. The NIT plan has the potential to make a huge impact on the aerospace industry. It could be a breakthrough plan also to help the companies adapt to the fast-paced growing industry of the aerospace industry as well. And so I believe that it will help. It will solve a lot of the problems from the aerospace industry, and overall it'll help benefit the multi-thousand million companies and multi-millions that are being made from the aerospace companies, and that money and that will help them lead to more research projects, maybe even innovate new technology, new spacecrafts to help research further in the atmosphere.